then whip up a baby. Boy, Jody, show me the money. Ones, 5, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s. Show me the money. I need the guava, the narrow chicken, lettuce, onion. Show me the money. Green paper that's worth whatever all over the country. Show me the money. Show me the right. Nigga, show me the money. Show me the pay. Show me the money. Ones, 5, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s. Show me the money. I need the guava, the narrow chicken, lettuce, onion. Show me the money. Green paper that's worth whatever all over the country. Show me the money. Nigga, show me the right. Nigga, show me the money. Nigga, show me the pay. Show.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to CouchSports Podcast Live. Coming to you live over hell on the tube, man. I'm just want to sit here real quick, give y'all a quick little updates of everything that is going on, man. Hey, we talking Chicago Bears today, y'all. Y'all should already know. It's almost that time. We have 50. Oh, now did I just break it? I just broke it. Y'all give me a second. Hold on. Oh well, won't be doing it like that, so we just gonna have to sit here and hold on to it. Anyway, we have what is it, like 57 days, something like that, until 57 days until the NFL season start. And with that being said, y'all already know we ready to bear down. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling? It's DH Money to Dime. Appreciate each and every last one of y'all tuning in right now. So what I definitely want to talk to a lot of you all about is Caleb Williams is the number one jersey selling product in the NFL. That's right. Everybody is going out buying the Caleb Williams jersey. And that's just saying, like, everybody believes the hype, man. Everybody believes the hype. Um, no matter if you're in San Francisco, out there in Pasadena, USC, Arizona, it doesn't matter where you at. It shows that Chicago Bears fans, or at least Caleb Williams fans, is everywhere because everybody is buying his jersey. Do you know how hard it is to become the number one selling jersey in the NFL? I mean, granted, do have a lot of Chicago Bears fans that's definitely, or Chicago fans, period, that's just gonna go out and buy that jersey. Everybody in Chicago is getting that jersey for themselves, their kids, their spouses, their loved ones. Everybody in Chicago has a Caleb Williams jersey right now, and this is exactly what it's supposed to be. You got to think about it. This man is the franchise's quarterback. The franchise finally have their quarterback. We'll say it like that. They finally have their quarterback. Do y'all hear what is I'm really saying to y'all? Chicago Bears never have had a franchise quarterback. And now this man he was just under 100 yards short of 4,000 yards, which would be the first time in Bears franchise history. He broke the franchise record for most yards in the season already. So 4,000 yards was just that far away. I believe it was like 38 yards away. And that's because of drop passes. I'm believing in it. I'm believing in it, y'all. Like I'm full onto the whole hype. Caleb Williams could be that number one quarterback over these next couple of years. The man has the potential. He definitely has the potential. as long as his receivers come and do the jobs that they need to do, they will definitely make this man a top tier quarterback. He's already rounded out top 10, it's jumped up and down. It was top 7, top 10. Then he was just outside of the top 10, being at number 11. It was definitely a lot of different things that was going on, different votes, different panels that was talking about it. But when you turn around and you think about it, the guy came in number 1 pick, had a horrible season, uh, almost the most sacked quarterback. He was the most sacked quarterback in the franchise, but he was almost the most sacked quarterback in NFL history. So to go from that to having first year coach Ben Johnson and turning the franchise completely around, being the laughing stock of the NFC North to winning the NFC North within that same year of getting Ben Johnson as the head coach, turning his interception rate around, 29-7 ratio, being that elite quarterback, getting out of the pocket, making that magnificent throws out there, y'all. Like, the man was making throws that shouldn't even been made. 7 franchise record, NFL record, 7 times, coming back in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left on the clock. No one has ever done things like this. No one. And now, like, Chicago is very happy. Chicago is definitely on top. But there's one cloud that's over Chicago right now, and that is the fact that the Chicago Bears in this stadium. That's right, Chicago Bears in this stadium. Everybody's talking about the stadium talk and where will they end up? Arlington Heights, Hammond, Indiana, this and that. If y'all been in here before, y'all already know we've talked about this so many times. We're not talking about it anymore as far as where they gonna go. Kevin Warren's supposed to come out July 16th and have some type of meeting and talk to people, and it is expected or speculated that he will be announcing what the Bears will be doing as far as a stadium. That's the news that we have for that part, though. We moving on from the stadium talk, as well as everybody should know, the Bears they announced a Hallmark Christmas special, and it was Ben Johnson and Coastal Loveland. They did a social media video stating that they was getting this, and well, I mean, they did a bid for, what was it, a walk on roll. They did a bid for a walk on roll on this special, and then they finally closed it out and they started filming it. If you were in the downtown area and you noticed that there was people walking around with these hot Christmas robes, beards, hot mugs looking like steam is coming out the mugs and everything, those guys were part of the filming crew. Them guys, I know they was hot too, because it was hot in Chicago. It was 93, 94 degrees, and it felt like it was 100 and hell out there. So, with that part being said, if y'all seen them walking around and things like that, or if you notice, like, why is they doing a Chris Kringle look over in this area of downtown? Well, they was filming for the Chicago's Hallmark special that's going on. They've been doing it for the last 2 days now. Yesterday and today, I believe they wrapped it up today. Today was the last day. I've seen a lot of the stuff being moved around, so I believe today was the last day. So now I'm kind of waiting to watch to see what that's gonna be like, because now I really want to see what that's gonna be. Also, in the Bears news, let me get to it. Y'all gotta pardon me on that. I'm trying my best to. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties over here. everybody have them, but we gonna move on from that part. We not gonna sit here and blame that. Oh, what is going on? I was hearing stuff in there. As well as you all should know, we are having the ESPYS tonight, and Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears are up for a nominee for Best Play of the Year. Of course, they're gonna have it. Come on now, if they don't get Best Play of the Year, then they've just been they cheating it out. We just gonna say that they cheating it out because honestly, there's no play. I mean, it's pretty much it should be Caleb Williams versus Caleb Williams versus Caleb Williams because he's made 7 magnificent plays over the years. Like who? What else is competing with that? Let's be honest. What else is competing with that? I don't think nothing else is. I mean, we can sit here and debate about it. Anybody can sit here and say, "Oh, well, it was the man." Listen, this man is on a cover of Madden doing the jump pass again. Do y'all understand what that means? Last year, let's talk about it. Last year, it was Saquon Barkley and that ridiculously insane, magnificent jump. No one had thought that this man was going to make that jump, and they had to remake that jump again so that way it could be on the Madden cover. Guess what? They just did the same thing with Caleb Williams. What pass are we talking about? We're talking about the pass that beat Green Bay. FGB, FGB, FGB. That's right. We're talking about that pass. That man sat there, did a jump pass. He got out of the pocket. He got he got loose or broke a tackle, which would have been a sack, would have ended the game possibly, and did a jump pass, threw it. DJ Moore catch, DJ Moore touchdown. That was it right there. That's all that it could be. Like we cannot sit here and get mad at this man for having the best play. Like, and then that he did it twice. He did two. He did a back to back comebacks on Green Bay, and both passes was to DJ Moore. Everybody talked about DJ Moore and that last catch or last interception of the season when it came down to the LA Rams 2 weeks ago. DJ Moore is making a catch to beat Green Bay Packers to win the NFC division, right? Oh, wait a minute. The week before then, DJ Moore was making a catch to continue the season for the Chicago Bears against Green Bay Packers, sealing the win. Did y'all forget? Y'all forgot about that part too, though, huh? Y'all forgot about that. Everybody jumped on DJ's back. Oh, DJ, he was supposed to at least try to defend the ball, and he ran the wrong route, or he ran a lazy route, or whatever they want to say. At the end of the day, DJ Moore has been the superhero for how many games now? But of course, you all only see the negative. Nobody talks about the positive. Nobody talks about the positive. It's always the negative that's being talked about, though. But it's all good though on that. It's all good though because they gonna run it back. I've been hearing a lot of it. I've been hearing a lot of it. It's been going 12-5, 12-5, 11-6. Uh, I heard 1 14-3. Chicago Bears supposed to have the top difficulty schedule listed so far. But then if you actually look at the schedule and break down the losses of these teams, what they lost during the offseason, you can actually sit there and debate whether or not this would actually be a difficult schedule. I mean, you got the Seahawks, but they lost their MVP. They lost their MVP, Kenneth Walker, to Kansas City Chiefs. They lost their safety to the Chicago Bears. Talking about Kobe Bryant. So I mean, they lost more pieces too, but those are two main ones right there that's talked about the most. Those are the two that's talked about the most. Which, if you think about it, you lose a piece like that on defense, Kobe Bryant, and then you lose your MVP running back. It's like, what do you have now? Are you really entrusting yourself into Sam Darnold and that arm of his? Like, really, do we really believe it's going to be Sam Darnold and that arm again to get them to the Super Bowl? I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, they scored the passing touchdown, but honestly, it was Walker that got them going. It was the defense that kept them going because the defense came out and played magnificent. All three quarters, they played magnificent for both teams. I mean, at one point in time, it was, I want to say 9-3, something like that, 9-0. Then come fourth quarter, you get the score, and that pretty much was it. After you get that one score, that was it. So now you look at them and go, well, they lost some pieces. So are they really that uh that tough? Are we really worried about that team? Then you turn around, of course, you got the division. You got the Lions, Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions beat Chicago Bears twice last year. Of course, beat dog doodoo out of them. Dog doodoo. So let's really talk about that. You have Ben Johnson. His main goals come in, change the team around. He did that, made him a winning team, beat Green Bay. Now it's personal. Now it's something that's real personal because now he has to go and beat his mentor. He has to beat his mentor. You cannot let this man get away with beating you twice in the season, and they didn't even make the playoffs. Like, not make the playoffs, not even be looked at as a top team in the NFC North or in the NFC period. They wasn't even a top team in the NFC period. But you can't lose to them twice this year. You have to go in there. You have to go in there with a chip on your shoulder. You definitely want to go in there and say, we going to beat the dog doodle down their legs like they did ours. They put up 53, 56, whatever it was. Now it's your turn to do the same to them. So with that part being said, of course, what's next then, right? What's next? Let's talk about Minnesota. Minnesota is the most scariest one. As far as I look at it, Minnesota has exactly the type of weapons, and they have a top seven. They was top seven in defense last year. Most of those guys came back. Then you turn around and you look at the offense. Gain Kyler Murray. Everybody will sit here and say, "Well, they're not worried about the shorty." I've been listening to different podcasts. I've been listening to uh, a lot of the local podcasts as well, and everybody's saying we're not worried about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is too short. He doesn't have an arm. He doesn't like studying film. He doesn't like this. He's not that, and so on and so on. Listen, when Kyler Murray is healthy, he is a threat. Meaning that man is either gonna throw the ball to the guy that he wants to throw it to, meaning Jettas, or he's gonna run that ball. And then let's not forget, Chicago Bears' top threats are always the tight ends. It's always the tight ends. Sam Laporta. Well, not in Detroit. Detroit, it was Jameson Williams. But always against the Vikings, it's been TJ Hawkinson. TJ Hawkinson is always tore up the Chicago Bears. He has a field day against the Chicago Bears. Now you have a quarterback that can get the ball out there. And you have a quarterback that can run. So now your linebackers can't just turn their back and run. So that's the thing now. If you're saying that the linebackers are gonna be guarding, of course, TJ Hawkinson and the running back, whichever running back comes out of the backfield this year, and you leave open space for Kyler Murray to run to get the first down, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he run and get the first down? Like, come on. That's the smartest thing for them to do. Then, of course, you throw in the fact that they still have Jettas over there, which is the top threat of any NFL team. You're gonna double team him. I don't care what team that you with, unless you have Jalen Ramsey, and even Jalen Ramsey will tell you, "Hey, help." He won't sit here and say it on a podcast and everything, because all these players have podcasts now. All these players have X now. All these players check their stats and check and see what people are saying about them on the internet and social media. But he won't get on here and say, I told that person I needed help against Jettas. He's not gonna get on here and say that. But we all know that they double team Jettas. Every team double teams Jettas. So when you say that and you look at the Chicago Bears, and they're gonna sit here and they're gonna double team Jettas. Then you got TJ Hawkinson. You got a linebacker on him, or you might have the safety on him. I doubt that we have the new safety, uh Thieneman. I doubt that they have Thieneman on this guy guarding him. I really, really doubt that. But if they do, if they do, then you have these linebackers. You have them playing 1-on-1. That means pretty much you're playing man. You're playing man. You're playing man. There's no man zone to it. You're gonna be double teaming one side. The other side, you're gonna have a safety on this tight end to stop that. That means your linebackers and the deep pass is open. Hopefully, hopefully somebody is gonna get to that quarterback, which is Kyler Murray. But once again, Kyler Murray also has legs. Let's not forget about that. And then lastly, we got Green Bay out the way. We got Minnesota out the way. We got Detroit out the way. Now, let's go on about the last part of it, which is the last part of the schedule, which to talk about is the biggest threat. We got Seattle out the way. I wouldn't call Philly a threat. I mean, they do. Let's get this thing right. Let's get it right. I am not saying Seattle just up and sucks and this and that. Not Seattle. I'm sorry, not Seattle. I'm not saying that Philly up and sucks. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying about Philly is now that they have gotten rid of their 50-50 receiver, which honestly, he wasn't a 50-50 receiver. He was just a receiver that was going to go up there and get that ball. But now that is no longer over there, and only thing that you pretty much have is a deep threat when you look at Smith and Jalen Hurts. As far as the pass game, now it's like, you can take your chances. You can send certain blitz now. You don't have to necessarily worry about it. Or you can sit there and work zone. Just pretty much that's honestly if I was gonna do something, I'm gonna work zone against Philly and tell them they gonna have to beat me with the passing game. And the reason that I would do that is simply because we know they got Saquon Barkley. Everybody knows they have Saquon Barkley. Okay, go attack the run game, which that's another story about the Chicago Bears. But if y'all got time, we'll talk about it. But on my end, attack the run game. I say attack the run game and make him pass the ball. You got to make him pass the ball because if you don't, then they're gonna do whatever they want to do. Now, mind you, yes, we have the Chicago Bears have won against Philly, so not really worried about Philadelphia, right? We're not really worried about Philadelphia. So let's move on. Who else are they facing? The Atlanta Falcons, which won against teams that they should not have won against. Pretty much they was in a three-way tie for the NFC South, but the only reason that they really lost is because they everything was split between Carolina and Tampa Bay, pretty much. So how that worked out was I beat you, but this team beat me, but this team beat me, and I beat that team. So it's things like that. So that's the only way that it really turns out. That's how you get a four-way tie. Um, both team, everybody split within that division. That's how you get that time that, and that's exactly what happened. And that's the reason why they was in third place. One team outplayed the other teams, and somehow Carolina ended up on top. I don't see how that ended up happening. But speaking of Carolina, the first game of the season, I don't feel that Carolina is a threat. Um, honestly, I don't know how they really saying that this schedule is one of the toughest schedules. They're saying based off last year's record, this team and that team is the most difficult, have the most difficult schedule, but it's not. New England Patriots, okay, that's maybe a threat because they just picked up AJ Brown. They just traded for AJ Brown, and now they have a receiver to go with a quarterback who could be an elite quarterback. When we talk about these quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, Drake May, and that class, Jaden McDaniels and things, they could end up being the new top elite quarterbacks. Talking about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and down that line, they could end up taking that throne for them. They could. So with that being said, now that you put Drake May with AJ Brown, now you're looking at a threat. That's okay, that's a threat. Then you take the Bills. Well, of course, you got rid of DJ Moore for pretty much, some change, just so you can open up the cap. Now you're looking at that like, hey, that's a revenge game for him. And you got to go into their new stadium. Who knows how that's going to be? But most of these games, most of these primetime games that we're talking about, that game, the Bills will be coming off of a 6-day break. They only have 6 days in between playing one game and another game. So they could end up being tired. We don't know, or they could end up not prepared for the Bears. Don't know how that would be until it comes, right? Uh, who else? Everybody else, I honestly, I'm not worried about. Tampa Bay, not really worried about Tampa Bay. New Orleans Saints, not worried about New Orleans Saints. Reason I'm not worried about Tampa Bay is they lost Mike Evans. Yes, you have Mbeke Ibuka, but the thing is, in the beginning of the season, they was using him, and then all of a sudden he fell off. It was like, where's this guy at? So that's why I'm really not worried about him. Uh, like I said, New Orleans Saints, not worried about it. Miami Dolphins, definitely not worried about it. How's that even tough? So it's the Bills, the Saints, the Jets. I don't know why I always do this. I always forget NFC. Who's AFC East? I always forget who's AFC East. You have Miami, you have the Bills, you have the Jets, and who else is over there? Oh, you have New England. Okay, New England was the other one that we already talked about. So it's between the NFC East or AFC East, it's the Bills and the Patriots. I believe they can beat the Patriots. It's gonna be tough, but they can beat the Patriots. The Bills, that's a toss up. So, and you going into a new state, into a new stadium. We don't know how that grass or turf, whatever it is gonna be. So that's kind of like that's shaky for me. That's why it's a toss up for me. They will be playing in that stadium for about a good 4 weeks now. They will have some insight onto that stadium and how you can tweak this or how you can turn like this or how you can turn like that. So I can't necessarily say that they're gonna go into that new stadium and beat the Bills, but the Patriots, they have a chance to beat the Patriots. It'll be tough, but they have a chance to beat the Patriots. Now you think about the NFC South, like I said, Tampa Bay, they lost running back, they lost linebackers, two linebackers, then they lost Mike Evans, the biggest threat in wide receiver. So not worried about that. As well as Baker, he wants a he wants a contract. They want to do contract talks before training camp starts. With training camp starts in a couple of weeks. In about like 2.5 weeks it starts. So do I see I mean, he's showing up to practice right now. He was showing up to practice to OTAs and mini camps, but does that necessarily means that he's happy? You have a little bit of distraction there now because that's in the back of the minds of both parties. So Carolina, I believe Carolina's year last year was kind of fluky. Like I said, it was a four-way tie for the division. So how would a person really even sit here and determine whether or not they are serious? And once again, Atlanta won games that they possibly shouldn't have won. Um, do I feel that getting Tua makes them a threat? Not necessarily. I mean, he has a big arm, as what analytics would say. He has a big arm, but it's more than just about his arm. It's you have the coaching staff that's around him. Is that coaching staff even worth it? Um, that's around him. Is that coaching staff worth that? So that's 4 games. That's 8 games. Then you have the six on that. That's 14 games right there. Then we got three randoms that we have to deal with. Not really worried about these three randoms. Let's see. Just to make sure that it is locked in. I want to make sure that the whole schedule is all the way there. So we talked about okay. So then of course it's Philly. We talked about Philly, and we talked about Seattle, and the last one is Jacksonville. Jacksonville don't even know their identity. Let's be honest. Jacksonville don't even know their identity, y'all. Like when it comes to Jacksonville, they have a great season and then they fail for the next 5 seasons. Do I feel that that's going to happen this year? Nah. Hopefully, BTJ he have a great year this year, just not against the Chicago Bears. He can have a sucky year. So let's run through it one more time, and I'm gonna run through it in order. September 13th in Carolina is the Panthers. I feel that the Panthers aren't the team that everybody thinks they are, that they are going to be any type of playoff contention next year. So, do I feel that the Bears will win that? Yes, that's one. Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. No, in Soldier Field. The first game is in Soldier Field, September 20th. That game, they have to win that game. That is a statement game to Kyler Murray. They have to make a statement to Kyler Murray and let him know, like, we understand what you have, but we're not going for that. And it's in Soldier Field. So you gotta defend that hometown, but that's gonna be a tough game. I feel that might be a comeback win. That will be that comeback win. September 28th, Soldier Field, Philadelphia Eagles. You stop Saquon Barkley, you're gonna stop the Philadelphia Eagles because you stop the run game. You're forcing Jalen Hurts to throw it down the field. Devontae Smith will have to be that deep threat that he has to be. But honestly, I think one good hit on him and he might end up being out for the next couple of weeks. And I'm not talking about head hunting type hits. I'm talking about a good, broken rib, broken collarbone type hit. Like it happens to guys that's like him. You're speedy and you run fast enough into a hard hit. Stuff happens. October 4th in Soldier Field, it is the New York Jets. I mean, really, do we gotta even explain the Jets? Geno Smith, Brees Hall, and who else? Wilson. Okay, that's your offense, but your defense sucks. October 11th, Green Bay Lambeau Field. I think Green Bay might end up taking that one. That might be the one that we end up losing inside of Green Bay. Yeah. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 games. We go 4-0 until you get to Green Bay. We go 4-0 until we get to Green Bay. Then you turn around and you go October 18th. And the only reason I say that we lose October 11th into Green Bay, Michael Parsons might come back. That's a game that Michael Parsons has circled on his calendar because he believes if he was there, the Bears would not have had any comebacks. So we'll see how that works out. If he comes back, if they have a running back game, they lost wide receivers, they lost running linebackers. So I don't know. That game could end up being a toss-up game, but if we had a game to lose, let that be the game. Let that be the game. Let it be October 11th in Lambeau. October 18th, it is against Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Like I said, Atlanta knows how to beat teams that they should lose to, but we talking about Tua. No, the other one could be back. Michael Penix could be back. Mm, B.J. Robinson, by John Robinson. I don't know. That's kind of tough. But they should come out with the win. The defense should be able to take care of that. Once again, stop the run and actually just stop the Robinson brothers, and they should be straight. And that means stopping the run game and the pass game. Stop the passing out the backfield because Bijan Robinson out the backfield catching, he's a beast. He had the top yards when it came to scrimmage yards last year. So, and that means he was catching the ball and he was running stuff over. October 22nd, Soldier Field, New England Patriots. And see at that they come to New England and that's a Thursday night game. That's the only game that's kind of tough. So it's kind of like, but I think that we got the Soldier Field one. Then we move on to November 2nd in Seattle. Okay, that's a loss right there. It's in Seattle. It's in Seattle. I gotta give it to that 12 man out there in Lumen Field. That's gonna be a tough one right there. So that Seattle one might be a loss. Then we play November 8th. We play, and that was a Monday night, and that's a Monday night game, by the way. So then November 8th, Chicago Bears play Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Soldier Field. I mean, honestly, it's Tampa Bay. November 22nd. So that means now there's a break between that. Between now week is this that we're in? We're in week 9. So week 10 is a bye week. They come week 11, play New Orleans Saints in Soldier Field. So you're not playing in the dome. They come on. We ain't got to talk about it. They'll be cold. They'll be cold. November 26th. That's kind of tough right there. You got to play Detroit in Detroit on Thanksgiving. They got to go inside of Detroit and beat them. They got to. There's no this and that. No, they have to. But do I have them winning that game? Uh, in my mock schedule, record scheduling, I said that they lose that, but they could win that. I'm looking at it now. They could win that. December 6th against Jacksonville in Chicago. I've stated how it will be against Jacksonville. Then you go down to Miami and play against Miami Dolphins. Now, this is the thing. When Chicago went into Hard Rock Stadium, every time that they go into Hard Rock Stadium, they lose. So that's a statement right there. I say that's a statement. Yeah, that's definitely a statement for that one. December 19th in New York. That's the Buffalo Bills one. I already said going into Buffalo, that's a loss. And then on Christmas to end the season, you play. Oh no, not to end the season. That's just on Christmas. On Christmas, you play Green Bay Packers in Soldier Field. Yeah, come on, man. Send them home with no gifts. It's that easy. It's that simple, right? Then you have to play on January 3rd. You have to play the Detroit Lions again in Chicago. So if you lose in on Thanksgiving, you got to win on January 3rd. And then of course you play the Vikings again inside of Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. So honestly, that one to me is the last game of the season. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. That's no problem on that one. So honestly though, like let's really talk about it. One, two, three, four. We're gonna count that as a loss. Five, six. That's a loss. 7, 8. That's a loss. 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12-5, y'all. That's why I got them. 12-5. First 4 weeks, they're gonna go out and win. First 4 weeks, they're gonna go out and win. So with that being said, though, y'all, that is the end of the show, and I appreciate each and every last one of y'all joining us and listening in. I want to say thank you. You all have a great day. Stay safe. Stay positive. We out of here. Peace.